In the vibrant city of Neotropolis, where neon lights danced with the hum of technology, life thrived in a bubble of digital dreams. Holographic billboards flashed the faces of charismatic virtual candidates, each promising a future filled with hope and prosperity. Among the throngs of people, one stood out, not because she was a candidate, but because she was the one who saw through it all. Maya Martinez, a 20-something hacker with a flair for sarcasm, navigated her way through the chaos of a bustling tech fair. She sported a bright purple hoodie that contrasted starkly with the sea of corporate blue suits around her. As she passed a booth showcasing the latest in virtual candidate technology, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. "Next, we'll have holograms running for dog catcher," she muttered to herself, smirking as a holographic candidate, Senator Vex, gestured wildly at the crowd. The senator's speech sputtered mid-sentence, his hologram glitching like an old video game. "We must ensure that every BZZZT voter is heard. I mean, BZZZZT." The crowd burst into laughter, and Maya seized the moment, snapping a quick video on her phone. "Perfect. Let's add virtual malfunction to the campaign highlights," she quipped, her finger hovering over the share button. But her mirth was short-lived. As she continued her stroll, she overheard a conversation that sent shivers down her spine. Two men in crisp suits were huddled over a tablet, whispering about hidden agendas behind the virtual candidates. "If we can manipulate the algorithms, we control the votes," one said, his eyes glinting with malice. Maya's heart raced. Just when she thought these digital avatars couldn't be any more ridiculous, she realized they were a threat to the very fabric of democracy. The laughter faded from her mind as a determination sparked within her. She was going to uncover the truth. With her mind racing, she hurried back to her cramped apartment, cluttered with old tech and energy drink cans. A light flickered over her computer as she booted it up. "Let's delve into this mess," she muttered, her fingers flying over the keyboard. Hours melted away as she hacked into the network of Vex's campaign, bypassing firewalls and encryption like a pro. The digital underbelly of the campaign unfolded before her, revealing a web of deceit that left her both impressed and horrified. Each virtual candidate was a puppet, their strings pulled by a conglomerate that thrived on manipulation. Just as she was about to dig deeper, her phone buzzed. It was Jasper, her best friend and reluctant sidekick. "You still alive?" he texted, followed by a string of animated emojis. "Barely. I found something big," Maya replied, excitement tingling through her fingertips. "Meet me at the diner." "We need to talk before you get yourself into trouble again," Jasper insisted. At the diner, over greasy fries and shakes, Maya relayed her findings. Jasper, sporting his signature plaid shirt and thick-rimmed glasses, raised an eyebrow. "So, you're saying they're literally manipulating reality? That's insane. And risky." "Exactly. We need to expose them," Maya declared, her voice bubbling with passion. Jasper sighed, chewing thoughtfully. "And how do you plan on doing that? You can't just walk up to Vex and say, 'Hey, I hacked your system, care to explain?'" "True," she replied, tapping her fingers on the table. "But we can crash the live debate. We'll show the world what's really going on. What if they catch us?" Maya smirked, a glint of mischief in her eyes. "Then we'll just have to be cleverer than they are." Over the next few days, the duo prepared for the debate. Maya crafted a plan that involved hacking the live feed to expose the corruption. She practiced her disguise, dressing as a tech journalist, while Jasper created a series of quirky press credentials that could get them past security. The night of the debate arrived, and the auditorium buzzed with excitement. Holographic candidates stood behind podiums, delivering polished speeches filled with buzzwords and empty promises. Maya felt a mixture of exhilaration and nerves as she and Jasper slipped into the crowd, their hearts racing in sync. As the debate progressed, Maya's mind raced with strategies. She spotted her target, Senator Vex, whose holographic self glimmered with charisma. With every word he spoke, Maya could feel the weight of his deceit. "Now, we just need to wait for the right moment," she whispered to Jasper, who nodded, his expression a mix of anxiety and excitement. Finally, the time came. Midway through Vex's speech about digital empowerment, Maya discreetly activated her code, sending a virus through the holographic system. Instantly, the screens flickered, glitching like a bad TV reception. "What's happening?" Vex stammered, his confidence wavering. The crowd gasped as shocking images flashed across the screens, documents detailing the manipulation tactics, graphs showing the algorithms designed to skew public perception. Maya felt a thrill of satisfaction. This was it. The truth was coming to light. But then, the tech mogul behind it all, a suave man named Ryder Locke, appeared on the screen, his smile broad and unsettling. "Impressive, Maya. But you didn't think you could outsmart me, did you?" The crowd murmured in confusion, and Maya's heart sank. "You've been watching me?" "Of course," he said, his tone dripping with mockery. "You're quite talented. Join me, and we can reshape politics together." Maya felt a wave of temptation wash over her. The offer was enticing: power, recognition, a chance to create real change. But deep down, she knew what was at stake. "I'd rather expose your lies," she shot back, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. With a flick of her wrist, she amplified the virus, flooding the screens with more evidence of manipulation. "Let's show them who's really pulling the strings." The crowd erupted into chaos, gasping as the truth unfolded. Vex's hologram flickered violently, resembling a malfunctioning robot, his carefully crafted persona unraveling before their eyes. Maya stood her ground, feeding off the crowd's energy. This is what happens when technology replaces democracy. We cannot let these virtual candidates control our future. The uproar grew, and as the audience began to chant her name, she felt a rush of triumph. In that moment, she knew she had made the right choice. As the debate ended in pandemonium, Maya and Jasper slipped away, hearts racing with excitement. The aftermath would be messy, but they had ignited a spark of rebellion against digital manipulation. Weeks passed, and the fallout from the debate shook the political landscape. People began to question the validity of virtual candidates, demanding accountability. Maya and Jasper, now unlikely heroes, watched from the sidelines, planning their next moves. One evening, as they sat on Maya's apartment floor, surrounded by tech gadgets and takeout boxes, she turned to Jasper with a grin. "So, what's next for the dynamic duo?" Jasper laughed, shaking his head. "How about we create a name for our group first? Something that sounds as cool as what we did?" Maya pondered, a playful smile spreading across her face. "How about Real People for Real Politics?" "Too long," Jasper replied, chuckling. Okay. "How about Hack the Vote?" He paused, considering. "I like it. But let's keep the jokes coming." Maya leaned back against the wall, her heart swelling with hope. In a world increasingly dominated by virtual candidates, it was the real people, imperfect, messy, and wonderfully human, who would fight for democracy. And she was ready to lead the charge. With a flicker of laughter and a glimmer of determination, Maya realized that even in the realm of digital deception, it was the authenticity of human spirit that would ultimately prevail. In the days that followed, the momentum from the debate transformed into a whirlwind of activity. Maya and Jasper found themselves at the center of a movement they never anticipated. Social media exploded with hashtags like #HackTheVote and #RealPolitics, rallying people to question the very fabric of their digital democracy. Maya had unwittingly become a symbol of resistance, and it felt both exhilarating and terrifying. One evening, they set up a live stream in Maya's apartment, surrounded by a cacophony of old computer parts and discarded energy drink cans. The glow from the monitors illuminated their determined faces as they prepared to address their growing audience. "Tonight," Maya began, her voice steady despite the flutter of nerves in her stomach, "we're here to talk about what's next. We need to keep pushing against the manipulation and advocate for real representation." Jasper, ever the pragmatic partner, chimed in. "We'll focus on educating people about how these virtual candidates operate. If we can expose the algorithms and the data games being played, we can empower voters to demand change." As they streamed, comments flooded in from viewers, some supportive, others skeptical. A few trolls tried to derail the conversation with snarky remarks, but Maya and Jasper handled it with humor, turning each jab into an opportunity to educate. They shared anecdotes from the debate, their laughter lightening the mood and reinforcing the bond between them and their audience. After their session, an unexpected message popped up in the chat from a user named TechTruthSeeker. "I have information that could help your cause. Meet me at the old library tomorrow at noon." Maya exchanged glances with Jasper, both intrigued and cautious. "What do you think?" she asked, her brow furrowed. "Could be a trap," he replied, but curiosity tugged at him. "But if it's legit, it could give us a significant lead." "Let's do it," Maya decided, a spark igniting in her chest. The following day, they arrived at the library, a dusty relic of the past, its once grand facade now weathered and forgotten. Inside, the smell of aged paper and wood welcomed them, and they quickly scanned the room for their contact. In a dim corner, a figure leaned over a table, cloaked in shadows. "You must be Maya and Jasper," the figure said, raising their head. It was a young woman with piercing green eyes and tousled hair. "I'm Alara. I've been following your movement and think I can help. What do you have for us?" Maya asked, her excitement bubbling. Alara pulled out a tablet, her fingers flying across the screen. "This is a prototype for a new AI-based candidate, one that's still in the testing phase. I worked on the algorithms, and I realized that it's all based on manipulating emotional responses. It's not just about winning votes, it's about creating a narrative that people can't resist." Jasper leaned closer, absorbing the information. "So they're engineering the way people feel about candidates?" "Exactly," Alara affirmed. "And I have access to the raw data, information that could expose their entire operation." Maya felt her pulse quicken. If we can show the public how they're being manipulated, it could shift the narrative completely. Alara nodded. "But it's risky. If they catch wind of this, they won't hesitate to silence us." Maya glanced at Jasper, who gave her a small, encouraging nod. "We're already in deep. Let's take the risk. We have to push back against this before it gets worse." They spent the next few hours poring over the data Alara provided, uncovering layers of manipulation that left Maya speechless. The algorithms were designed to not only predict voter behavior but also to create candidates that could elicit strong emotional reactions, anger, joy, fear, funneling people's instincts into votes rather than informed decisions. That evening, they gathered at Maya's apartment again, buzzing with the new information. "We need to present this data in a way that's engaging," Maya said, pacing the floor. "We can't just dump numbers on people. We have to make it relatable." Jasper nodded. "We could create a visual presentation, infographics, maybe some animations. Something that shows how these algorithms work in real time." With a shared sense of purpose, they began brainstorming. Ideas flew back and forth, each one sparking more creativity. They envisioned a live event that would blend humor, education, and emotion, designed to draw people in and reveal the truth about the virtual candidates in an accessible way. The following week, they set a date for the event, marketing it as a truth and transparency rally. They used every platform available, spreading the word through social media and grassroots outreach. People began to share their own stories of feeling manipulated by political campaigns, and the momentum grew. On the day of the rally, the atmosphere was electric. Maya stood backstage, her heart pounding in her chest as she watched the crowd gather in the park. She glanced at Jasper, who gave her an encouraging thumbs up. "You got this," he said, and she took a deep breath, ready to step into the spotlight. When she emerged, the crowd erupted into applause. Her heart swelled with gratitude and determination. "Thank you all for being here today," she began, her voice clear and confident. "We're living in a time where our choices are being shaped by algorithms designed to manipulate our feelings and opinions. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how it works." As she spoke, Elara presented the infographics, weaving in stories from everyday voters who felt disenfranchised. The crowd reacted with gasps and laughter at the absurdity of some of the data, and Maya could see their engagement grow. But just as they reached the climax of their presentation, a commotion erupted at the back of the crowd. Maya squinted into the sunlight, seeing figures in suits pushing their way through, flanked by security personnel. A cold wave of dread washed over her. The tech mogul, Ryder Locke, had sent his people to silence them. "Everyone, stay calm," Maya called out, trying to maintain control as the tension escalated. "We have the right to share this information." Locke's agents reached the front, one of them stepping forward. "You're spreading false information. We're here to shut this down." Maya's heart raced, but she felt a surge of defiance. "What's false is the manipulation of our democracy. We're here to expose the truth." The crowd rallied behind her, chanting slogans from their movement. "Truth over lies. Real votes matter." The atmosphere shifted, people began to step forward, standing in solidarity. As the agents hesitated, unsure of how to proceed, Maya seized the moment. "This is about more than just us. It's about every voter who has been misled, every citizen who deserves transparency. Are you with us?" The crowd erupted into a unified roar, drowning out the agents. In that instant, Maya felt a wave of empowerment ripple through her. This was no longer just about her or Jasper. It was a movement fueled by passion and purpose. Locke's agents retreated, recognizing the tide had turned. As they left, a sense of triumph enveloped the park. Maya could hardly believe what had just happened. They had stood up to a powerful force, and the crowd had embraced their message. In the days that followed, the momentum only grew. News outlets began covering the rally, and discussions about the manipulation of digital candidates sparked conversations across the nation. Maya and Jasper received messages from people wanting to join their cause, bringing with them ideas, energy, and resources. One afternoon, while they worked on organizing a follow-up event, a notification pinged on Maya's phone. It was an invitation to speak at a national conference on digital democracy. Her hands trembled with excitement as she read the details aloud to Jasper. "This is huge. If we can get a platform like that, we can reach so many more people," he exclaimed, his eyes wide with possibilities. "Imagine if we could get policymakers in the room, too," Maya mused, her mind racing. "We could push for regulations on digital campaigning, make it harder for them to manipulate the narrative." As they prepared for the conference, Maya felt a renewed sense of purpose. This wasn't just about exposing a few bad actors, it was about reshaping the entire landscape of political engagement in the digital age. The day of the conference arrived, and Maya stood backstage, heart pounding as she waited for her turn. She could hear the murmur of the audience, a mix of tech enthusiasts, activists, and journalists. When she finally stepped onto the stage, a wave of nerves threatened to overtake her, but she quickly channeled it into determination. "Hello everyone. My name is Maya Martinez, and I'm here to talk about the digital manipulation of our democracy," she began, her voice steady as she scanned the crowd. "What we've seen in recent elections is not just a trend, it's a coordinated effort to control how we think, how we vote, and ultimately, how we live." As she spoke, the crowd leaned in, captivated by her passion and the urgency of her message. With each statistic, each story shared, she could see the realization dawning on their faces. This was more than a personal crusade, it was a collective awakening. When she finished, the audience erupted into applause, a powerful acknowledgement of the movement they had all become a part of. Backstage, Jasper greeted her with an enthusiastic hug. "You were amazing. I think we really got through to them." As the democracy fair wound down, Maya stood on the stage, a soft breeze tousling her hair as she gazed out at the crowd. The energy that had filled the park was palpable, and the conversations buzzing around her were a testament to the impact of their efforts. People were exchanging phone numbers, forming small groups, and passionately discussing the future of their democracy. It was a scene that filled Maya with pride and a renewed sense of purpose. "All right, let's clean up this place," Jasper called, breaking her reverie. They had a mountain of volunteers, and with the energy still high, they began collecting banners and clearing the area. The camaraderie among the attendees felt almost familial, as if everyone had become allies in a shared cause. While they worked, Maya noticed a group of young people gathered around a table where Alara was demonstrating a new app designed to educate voters about candidates and issues based on verified information. The app provided resources that countered misinformation, empowering users to make informed decisions. "Hey, check this out." Alara beckoned Maya over. "This could be a game changer. Imagine everyone using this to fact-check candidates in real time." Maya's eyes lit up. "This is exactly what we need. If we can spread the word about this app, it could really help people navigate the next election." Jasper joined them, peering at the screen. "We should integrate this into our outreach. Maybe we can have a launch event specifically for this app." "That's a great idea," Alara replied. "We can set up workshops on how to use it effectively, teach people to think critically about the information they consume." As the fair came to a close, Maya felt a sense of accomplishment. They had created a space for dialogue, collaboration, and community. It was a tangible step towards reforming the digital landscape of politics, and she could see the possibilities stretching out before them. Later that evening, they gathered at a local cafe, the atmosphere cozy and inviting. Over coffee, they reflected on the day's successes and planned their next steps. Maya was excited, her mind racing with ideas. "We should target schools and universities. Educating younger voters is crucial, and they're often the ones most engaged with technology." Jasper nodded, his enthusiasm matching hers. And we can reach out to local organizations that focus on voter registration and civic engagement. They might have resources we can leverage. Ilara chimed in, I have connections at a few universities. I can help organize talks and workshops there. Maya felt her heart swell with hope. They were building a network, a coalition of like-minded individuals determined to foster genuine democratic engagement. The next day, they started reaching out to various organizations, crafting presentations tailored to different audiences. As the weeks turned into months, the movement continued to grow. They held workshops, spoke at schools, and collaborated with local activists. Everywhere they went, Maya saw people eager to learn, to engage, and to challenge the status quo. Then came the day when they received an invitation to speak at a larger conference focused on digital democracy. The event promised to attract policymakers, tech leaders, and influential activists from across the country. It was an opportunity they couldn't pass up. Maya spent the days leading up to the conference preparing her presentation, fine-tuning her message to ensure it resonated with a broader audience. She wanted to emphasize not just the problems but also the solutions that individuals could take part in. The day of the conference, as she stood backstage, nerves bubbled up inside her again. Jasper stood beside her, exuding calm. You're going to crush it, he assured her. When her turn finally came, Maya stepped onto the stage, the bright lights illuminating the auditorium filled with faces eager for change. Hello everyone, I'm Maya Martinez, and today, I want to talk to you about the future of our democracy in the digital age. As she spoke, she could see the audience leaning in, engaged and receptive. She painted a picture of a future where technology served as a tool for empowerment rather than manipulation. She shared stories from the Democracy Fair, highlighting individuals whose voices had been amplified through their movement. The audience responded positively, and Maya felt the energy of their enthusiasm wash over her. She wrapped up her presentation with a call to action, urging everyone to join the fight for transparency and truth in politics. When she stepped off the stage, a buzz of excitement filled the air. Attendees approached her, expressing their appreciation for her message and asking how they could get involved. It was exhilarating to connect with people who were equally passionate about reshaping democracy. In the weeks that followed, the conference sparked new collaborations and connections. Maya and Jasper found themselves inundated with opportunities to speak and engage with diverse communities. It was as if a floodgate had opened, and people were hungry for the knowledge they had to share. One afternoon, as they were planning their next workshop, a notification pinged on Maya's phone. It was an email from a prominent news outlet requesting an interview with her about the movement. She could hardly believe it. Jasper, look at this, she exclaimed, showing him the screen. They want to interview me about what we're doing. Wow, that's huge, he said, grinning. This could really boost our visibility. The following week, Maya found herself sitting in a sleek studio, bright lights shining down as she prepared for the interview. The host was charismatic, a seasoned journalist known for tackling tough topics. As they began, Maya felt a mix of nerves and excitement. Thank you for joining us today, Maya, the host began. Your movement has gained significant traction in the wake of recent elections. Can you tell us a bit about what inspired you to take action? Maya took a deep breath, grounding herself in the mission. I realized that our democracy was being manipulated in ways that many people didn't fully understand. I wanted to empower individuals to reclaim their voices and make informed decisions. As the interview progressed, she discussed the importance of transparency, digital literacy, and the role technology could play in enhancing democracy rather than undermining it. The conversation flowed naturally, and she felt confident in her message. After the interview aired, the response was overwhelmingly positive. People reached out through social media, eager to join the cause and share their own experiences. It felt as if they were gaining momentum again, an unstoppable wave of change. However, with increased visibility came scrutiny. As their movement gained traction, the very powers they were challenging began to take notice. One evening, as Maya and Jasper were reviewing responses to their latest outreach campaign, an unsettling email arrived. It was a warning from an anonymous source, stating that they were being watched and suggesting they cease their activities if they valued their safety. A chill ran down Maya's spine as she read it aloud to Jasper. "What do you think this means?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. Jasper frowned, concern etched across his face. "It means we're making waves. They don't like what we're doing." Maya took a deep breath, steeling herself. "We can't back down now. If anything, we need to push harder." In the following days, they fortified their security measures and maintained their public presence. They continued to engage with their community, refusing to be silenced. Yet, behind the scenes, the tension was palpable. One night, as they were working late at the cafe, they overheard a table of patrons discussing the movement. Their voices were filled with admiration, but a couple of comments caught Maya's attention, whispers about dangerous radicals and disrupting the order. The weight of their mission suddenly felt heavier. Were they really considered radicals? Were they threatening the status quo? Maya exchanged a glance with Jasper, who seemed to sense her unease. "You okay?" he asked quietly. "Yeah, just thinking about how far we've come," she replied, trying to shake off the doubt. "And how much further we need to go. Remember why we started this," Jasper encouraged. "People are waking up, and that's what matters. We're giving them a platform to express their frustrations and hope." The next day, as they prepared for a community forum on digital democracy, Maya reminded herself of their purpose. This was about empowering people, educating them, and providing the tools to reclaim their narrative. At the forum, attendees filled the seats, and Maya felt a surge of determination as she looked out at the faces eager to learn and engage. She knew they had the power to challenge the status quo, to demand change, and she was committed to being a part of that transformation. As they wrapped up the evening, an attendee approached her. "Thank you for what you're doing. I didn't realize how manipulated we've been until tonight." Maya smiled, warmth spreading through her. "That's exactly why we're here. Together, we can change the narrative." As she walked out of the forum, the cool night air hit her face, and she inhaled deeply, feeling the weight of her journey. The challenges ahead would be daunting, but she was ready. She had allies, a community, and a mission that was more important than ever. Days turned into weeks as they continued their outreach, navigating the shifting landscape of digital democracy. Then one afternoon, an unexpected opportunity arose. Maya received an invitation to testify before a congressional committee on digital ethics and political manipulation. The committee was examining the implications of AI in politics, and they wanted her perspective as a grassroots activist. Jasper's eyes widened when she shared the news. "This is monumental. You could actually influence policy." "Yeah, but it's also a huge responsibility," Maya replied, feeling the weight of the opportunity. "What if they don't take me seriously?" "They will," Jasper reassured her. "You've proven your knowledge and your commitment. This is your chance to push for real change." In the days leading up to the testimony, Maya prepared rigorously, gathering data and crafting her arguments. She wanted to emphasize the need for regulation and accountability in digital campaigning, and the potential dangers of AI-driven candidates that could further manipulate public opinion. On the day of the hearing, Maya arrived at the Capitol, her heart pounding. The Grand Hall was filled with representatives, journalists, and advocates. As she took her seat at the witness table, she felt the weight of her mission pressing down on her. When it was her turn to speak, she took a deep breath and began. "Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Maya Martinez, and I stand before you as a representative of a movement that seeks to reclaim our democracy from the clutches of manipulation." As she spoke, she saw the committee members leaning forward, engaged in her message. She outlined the dangers of unchecked AI in political campaigns, providing examples of how misinformation had affected voter behavior in recent elections. "I urge this committee to consider the impact of digital technologies on our democracy," she concluded, her voice steady. "We need regulations that ensure transparency and accountability, so voters can make informed decisions rather than being swayed by algorithms designed to exploit our emotions." When she finished, the room erupted into applause. Maya felt a rush of adrenaline, a sense of triumph coursing through her veins. She had spoken her truth, and it resonated with those in power. As the hearing adjourned, she was approached by a few committee members who expressed their gratitude for her insights. "Your perspective is invaluable," one said, shaking her hand firmly. "We need voices like yours in these discussions." Maya left the Capitol feeling empowered, her heart light. This was just the beginning. As she and Jasper regrouped after the hearing, they knew they had made an impact. The momentum was building, and they were at the forefront of a movement that could reshape democracy. Weeks later, as they celebrated their successes, Maya reflected on how far they had come since that initial debate. They had built a community, empowered countless individuals, and ignited a conversation about the future of politics in a digital age. But Maya also knew the journey wasn't over. The fight for a transparent and ethical democracy was ongoing, and they had to remain vigilant. As she looked around at her friends and allies gathered in her apartment, she felt a surge of hope. Together, they would continue to push for change, to advocate for the people, and to ensure that the voice of democracy would never be silenced again. With renewed determination, Maya raised her glass in a toast. "To all of us, to truth, transparency, and the power of the people." The room echoed with cheers, laughter, and the promise of a brighter future. And in that moment, Maya knew that they were just getting started. The road ahead would be long and challenging, but with every step they took together, they were redefining what it meant to be engaged citizens in a democracy.